Hello students. Today we'll be continuing with an important property of equivalence relations. In my previous video, I had introduced you all to the concept of equivalence relations, wherein we had seen that a relation is said to be an equivalence relation if it is reflexive, symmetric and transitive. Now let us now proceed with the property which I was just referring to, which says that given an arbitrary equivalence relation R in an arbitrary set X, R divides X into mutually exclusive, or which is called as disjoint, subsets AI called the partitions or subdivisions of X satisfying the following properties. I am again repeating, given any equivalence relation R in an arbitrary set, it will divide R into mutually exclusive subsets which are called as partitions of the set X, which satisfy the following properties. The first one says that all elements of the sets AI are related to each other for all I. Means if you are taking I as 1, 2, 3, like you can divide it into various disjoint classes A1, A2, A3. Then for all such classes, every element of each class is related to each other. No element of AI is related to any element of AJ, where I is not equal to J. That is, no element of a particular class is related to any element of another class or subset. The third point is that the union of all these classes is the entire set X, and these classes are mutually disjoint. That is, every pair of these classes is disjoint, that is, has no element in common. Then these subsets AI is called an equivalence class. Okay, so let us consider some examples. Okay, the first example says that show that the relation R in the set Z of integers given by R is equal to the set of all ordered pairs AB such that 2 divides A minus B is an equivalence relation. Also find the equivalence classes into which R divides Z. So let's first prove it to be an equivalence relation. So for reflexive property, let us consider any arbitrary element A belonging to Z. Since A minus A is 0 and 0 is always like any number, any non-zero number always divides 0. So we will say that 2 divides 0. So clearly A is related to A. And since A is an arbitrary member, we say that A is related to A for all A belonging to Z, and so R is reflexive. Let us consider the next property, that is symmetric. So for that, let us consider AB belonging to Z such that A is related to B. So clearly by this definition of R, we have A minus B will be divisible by 2. So since these numbers are integers, so the negative of this number will also be divisible by 2. But negative of this number is B minus A, which is divisible by 2, which gives us B is related to A. That is, A related to B implies and implied by B related to A for all AB belonging to Z, and so R is symmetric. Now for transitivity, let's consider 3 members A, B, C belonging to Z such that A related to B and B related to C. It implies by definition of the relation R that A minus B and B minus C are divisible by 2. And it means that their sum will also be divisible by 2, but their sum is equal to A minus B. A minus C, and so we get A minus C is divisible by 2, that is A is related to C. That is, A related to B, B related to C implies that A related to C for elements A, B, C belonging to Z, and so R is transitive, and thus R is an equivalence relation. Now let us observe what happens to the members belonging to the set Z because of this relation R. We know that all even integers are related to 0, that is the pairs 0 comma plus minus 2, 0 comma plus minus 4, etc. lie in the relation R, and no odd integer is related to 0, as 0 comma plus minus 1, 0 comma plus minus 3 do not lie in R. Similarly, all odd integers are related to 1, and no even integer is related to 1. As the difference of an even and an odd number is not divisible by 2. Thus, the set E of all even integers and the set O of all odd integers are subsets of Z satisfying the following conditions. First is that all elements of E are related to each other and all elements of O are related to each other. Second point, no element of E is related to any element of O and vice versa. And the third one is that E and O are disjoint, and also we have that their union is the entire set of integers, and so it satisfies all the properties of being equivalence classes, and so we say that E and O are equivalence classes. The subset E is called the equivalence class containing 0 and is denoted by 0 within square brackets. It's also called as a class generated by 0. Similarly, O is an equivalence class containing 1 and is denoted by 1 within square brackets, and it is also called as a equivalence class generated by 1. And we clearly note that these two classes are not equal. In fact, the class generated by 0 is the same as that generated by any even number, and the class generated by 1 is the same as that generated by any other odd number. These two are called equivalence classes generated by 0 and 1 respectively. Now let's take another example where R is a relation AB such that A minus B is divisible by 3, and these A and B are integers. So this is also an equivalence relation which can be easily proved on the same lines as before. Now let's see the equivalence classes into which this relation divides the set of integers. Okay, so now where in such a relation the integers would be divided into 3 equivalence classes. One is the contains the numbers which are divisible by 3, that is, which leave a remainder 0 when divided by 3. Second class will contain all numbers leaving a remainder 1 when divided by 3, and third class will contain all integers which leave a remainder 2 when divided by 3. So let's just put these together. So the class generated by 0 would be the ones which leave a remainder 0. By 1 will be the will have all those numbers which leave a remainder 1, and the one generated by 2 would be the set of numbers leaving remainder 2. So when we put it together and then we see every element of each of these sets is related to each other, because see, these are multiples of 3. You take any pair, their difference is always a multiple of 3. Here everyone leaves a remainder 1. So when you find the difference is again a multiple of 3. Here also difference is again a multiple of 3. Now we consider each pair individually. So what do we get? There is no element common to any of these sets. Then the third one is that if you find the union of all these 3 classes, so what do we observe? Minus 6, minus 5, minus 4, minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and so on. So it contains all the integers. So the union of all these 3 classes is the entire set of integers, and so these 3 are the equivalence classes which satisfy all the properties of being equivalence classes. Similarly, if the relation is the set of all AB where A minus B is divisible by 4, this is also an equivalence relation, and it will divide the set of integers into 4 classes. Same way, those remain the numbers which leave a remainder 0 or 1 or 2 or 3 when divided by 0, and accordingly we have 4 equivalence classes, the ones generated by 0, 1, 2 and 3. Same way, if the set or the relation is a set of all AB, where A minus B is divisible by 5, it will this is also an equivalence relation which divides the set of integers into 5 equivalence classes. Again, the criteria is the same, that is those leaving remainder 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4 when divided by 5. And so when we put them together, we see that every element of each class is related to each other and to no other member of any other class. Secondly, we see that you take any pair of these sets, they are disjoint, since there is no element common to any of the sets. And the third point is that when you find the union of all these 5 classes, you get the entire set of integers. And so these are the equivalence classes into which the relation R divides the set of integers. On the same lines, you can do the related questions and also try out question number 8 and 9 of exercise 1.1. Thank you.